definitely a
Giddy.
bird. I'm like a bird.
Mr. Gideon, you're not paying attention.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I took it to The Crow, even though really it would be Batman Returns would be more that. Or is it in both movies?
Dude, I don't know.
How about that? Welcome to the 2 Decades Too Late podcast, everyone. I'm Brad, hanging out with Josh.
Caw, bang, fuck, I'm dead.
Awesome. The reboot looks sick. At first I was like, oh no, but now it's grown on me, and
I haven't actually watched the trailer.
It's gruesome.
Nice.
It makes the first Crow seem like a PG movie, from what I can tell.
Makes the first Crow seem like a pigeon.
Makes the first Crow seem like a pigeon. Well, that's all we got for you today, folks.
Not even doing an album.
Nope.
We switched it up. We're doing movies now.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
Well, this is a podcast in which we do review albums that are turning 20 years old. Mostly metal, for whatever it's worth.
Not this week.
No, not this week. We have 4 different parameters. We give a point total to each, 1 through 5 from Josh or I. That's sounded more like a Bad Brains thing than I meant it to.
Josh or I.
Josh or I.
It's a religious sect from the 300s BC. The Josh or I watched over an area, a geographic area. I was trying to think of what existed.
I mean,
what was the state of the world in 300 BC?
I don't know.
Is England a thing? You could always go with Asia. Asia.
Yeah, England's a thing. Let's see. 300 BC has a wiki page.
Nice.
Why would one... Man, maybe you picked a really important year.
Nailed it.
Oh, we had Egypt going on, Greece, China.
Okay.
This is the shortest Wikipedia I've ever seen.
Maybe not a lot going on then.
Yeah, apparently not. So we rate them each parameter 1 through 5. That allows a maximum point total from us individually is 20. A maximum point total overall with 40. So this week we are doing an album that I think I'm going to need to caveat pretty hard, maybe, because my opinion changed a lot, apparently, over 20 years about this album.
As well it should.
Yeah.
People can grow.
So yeah, that's true. I don't know if I grew. I think I just got worse. Anyway, we are reviewing Let It Enfold You by Senses Fail. So yeah, definitely not a metal album this week.
I cannot wait to talk about this because I need to know your thoughts. Because I listened to it twice, once while riding a lawnmower and once earlier today. And
nice.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. Well, I do kind of want to say that in 2004, I really, really liked this album. Because I thought it was more unique than it is.
Yeah. It's evidently not. Yeah.
No.
And a lot of people caught on to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it had a little, I don't know, it was just like, it seemed like the Intelligentsia's Screamo band.
Right.
In a strange way, but I don't think that that's true at all. I mean, I think they think so.
I think it's part one of the reviews actually touched on that a little bit. It's like if you can get past kind of the I don't want to say unoriginality of it, but wade through what sounds like a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of literary references and stuff like that kind of peppered in. So they're like, if you want to dig deep into this album, there's stuff to appreciate, but
sure,
they're also like, why? Why would you?
Right. And that's kind of my thing. Is that what you want to do for a mediocre screamo album is to put that much effort into trying to like it more than you probably just do.
Right.
Maybe. I mean, I think it is worth noting that this was kind of, at least in our tiny circle, it seems like this was the screamo band that metal dudes and hardcore dudes still appreciated.
It was definitely an outlier in that space, at least, from our side of the fence.
Yeah, it's very odd. Because now I don't get it. I did get it at the time. I don't remember what it was. Right. The proverbial it.
Same thing we were just talking about. It's a bird.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna fly away.
Yep. So I have a weird caveat with this album too. I didn't listen to it a lot in 2004. I mostly ignored pretty much everything in this space, as we've discussed. But in 2006, the Vitamin String Quartet released a string quartet tribute to this album, or to Senses Fail overall. And a lot of the songs from this album were done on that. And I love that album. Listened to it constantly for probably 3 years straight. So I know all of the music to this by heart, even though I had never probably listened to the whole album. So it was weird kind of, going back and then listening to the actual song itself and the lyrics.
Wow, that's interesting. I don't know if I knew that was a thing, and I will be checking that out when we're done.
Oh, I love it.
Because that sounds way cooler.
It's so peaceful.
I bet it is.
Also, we'll probably get into this a little more, but like, what is this? Is this a shit? Like, is death pop? Like death metal a thing? Because there's a lot of death. Like if this was a different style of music, it would probably be like deathcore or something along those lines. Like,
you mean based on the lyrical content?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, for sure. It'd also be incredibly insulting to a very specific demographic of person that we will probably talk about.
Yeah.
But you're definitely right. The lyrical content. Is there such a thing? I don't know if there's a term for like you being good at something to the point where it probably alienates anyone who might want to enjoy the thing you're good at. Because like, I think he's a very good he writes very intelligent lyrics. He hits metaphor real hard.
He's gonna spit bullets with his pen.
Yeah. Yes. But like, to the point where I have no idea how the reason fans get into lyrics is because they generally like to relate themselves to the lyrics and interpret it in a way. But he goes so hard on the storytelling metaphorical thing that I don't know how you garner any sense of relatability from any of it, because it's like you almost went too far in that direction.
That's funny.
To the point where it's almost like there's so much substance there's none.
Because I was into it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike them. I dislike some of them.
Sure.
But the ones that I don't dislike, I like a lot. It's just like, luckily, I'm not the type of fan that does that, and I can just appreciate them. But if you're that type of fan, which in Screamo, I mean, there's a lot of that type of fan. I don't know how you'd even be able to tie yourself to it, because it's like,
I mean,
it's cool.
If you've got the soul of a poet, then you're probably
yeah.
I've got the soul of a poet in the fire of a bullet. We should probably talk a little bit about Senses Fail.
Let's do that.
So they're from New Jersey, Ridgewood, New Jersey. So that actually plants them in that kind of northeast hardcore metal scene, which may be why we kind of got wrapped up in it, or they got wrapped up in like why their chocolate got in our peanut butter a little bit.
Maybe. I'm convinced at this point that the only reason I liked them more than the rest was their stage present in that one music video. I think that's all it comes. I don't think it's any more complicated than that now. I'm sure at the time I thought it was more complicated, but I can't find anything else.
Does it really need to be more complicated than
No.
that? Like, we were going
No.
to shows. We appreciated people who put on a good show.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Active for 3 years, so formed in 2001. They did have, I guess let's call it an EP, From the Depths of Dreams, in 2002. But Let It Enfold You, this album is their first like studio label release. They're still active, which is pretty cool.
Talk about a band that went through just huge changes. I mean, they have a straight up hardcore album.
I know, it's
that's
good.
Like, it's really good. It's super sick, but like, I don't know how you make the sense of this band's trajectory at all. It's basically, I think it's just the whims of the vocalist.
Probably, yeah. Seems to be, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, for sure.
So this one came out on Vagrant, which I guess was a large or, large-ish label in the space at the time. So like Saves the Day was on this label, Alkaline Trio was on this label.
Oh, yeah.
The only person that I could think of note right now that's on the label is the 1975.
That's certainly of note.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, one thing, it's shocking the label still exists.
PJ Harvey? Oh, all right. Cool.
Yeah.
So this is a weird label.
It is a weird label. Also went through changes. See, people change.
Yeah. Seemingly a lot. I mean, at one point you had
a lot.
Thrice and Protest the Hero. Weird.
Right? But despite, so we talked a little bit already about kind of the reception critically, with it being kind of in a space, in a heavily populated space, but did well on the Billboard charts. Certified gold. U.S. independent albums hit number 2, and Billboard 200 it hit number 34. So,
damn, dude,
I was surprised.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
but also
shocking.
Wasn't, because like I remember this album being a big deal, and
I mean,
the 2006 album too,
which is a far superior album.
Far superior. It's got Can't Be Saved on it, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's the then versus now part of this later is I believe has a lot to say, because genuinely you just go forward one album and like if you listen to the song Sick or Sane, that song fucking rips. Like it's mostly because his vocals. He went from not knowing what the hell he was doing to really knowing what the hell he was doing. Anyway, yeah, it's funny. Lot of band member changes with this band, it seems. But
what was the lineup for this album?
So the lineup for this album, we've got. Are we saying Glitta? Like Mike Glitta?
Glitta.
I mean, that's.
Let's say Glita, just to stay away from it.
Glita. Mike Glita. Yeah, good call.
I'm not trying to be reminded
vocals.
of a horrible Mariah Carey movie.
Yeah, that's true. Oh. Well, way to drag me into it with.
Yep, had to drop it.
We got Dave Miller on guitars. Buddy Nielsen, lead vocals, seems to be the only guy that really stuck around.
Yeah.
Dan Trapp drums, Garrett Zablocki
Hell yeah.
on guitars. So
this is an interesting. I started doing this when I was taking my notes and I didn't realize it, but I put the years that each member was in the band next to that person, so I could be like, oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
It is. So the drummer was actually in for a long time, 2002 to 14 official, and then 2017 to present as like a session musician.
Nice. Well, I say you hold on to that guy and you don't let him go.
He's a sick fucking drummer. Like I noticed that when I listened today, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, he is. I I don't even know. If you're in this genre in 2004, I don't know how you're not looking at that guy just like, fuck.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, none of us got that guy.
Yeah, double bass. I didn't know there was double bass on this album.
Yeah, quite a bit. And then again, go forward one album, lot more.
Yeah.
Dude gets, and then he did the hardcore album with him too.
Fuck yeah.
I don't remember what that's called, but man, listen to. I mean, honestly, this is a band with good albums mostly, but Renacer, 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 yeah, he was on that, and that thing is a monster.
Fredis Beard?
Anyway, Fredis Beard, boy, Fredis Beard, not the same thing. Don't those are different, more different than I can convey to you right now. Yeah, I think musically the album's pretty rad, even still.
Yeah.
I think they write really good songs. Well, they write songs I can listen to in a genre that I generally can't.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I'm just generally not a big Screamo fan, and it's mostly like the vocalists, honestly.
Well, and that's my problem with this album.
Yeah.
Too. I used to love his voice, and again, go forward one album. His voice is so much better. He clearly figured stuff out, both singing and screaming. Screaming being the shit's terrible.
Dude, which song is it that he just fucking goes for it for no reason? And
oh man,
it's an interesting choice.
It is.
I don't know.
I kind of like it a little bit.
Yeah,
because it's so ridiculous. Like I kind of dig it.
Insane.
Yeah. I want to say that's Rum is for Drinking, Not for Burning, right?
I was thinking it was later in the album than that, but you might be right.
Oh, man. Well, you'll know it when you hear it.
Yeah.
So, because he just dies, essentially.
Somebody stabbed him.
Yeah.
Freddy.
Oh, man. That's incredible.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know, but high level, it is worth noting that I genuinely don't know what I saw in this to the point that I did before, because I don't find whatever that was now. They do sound like pretty much everyone else, just maybe a little more polished and with a better drummer.
Definitely a better drummer, and super polished, actually. I mean, they got Steve Evans as the producer, who we recently talked about as doing Miss Machine. Yeah.
Yeah, he did lots of shit. Lots of
shit, yep. And it all sounds good.
Yeah, it does, more or less.
This album included, honestly.
Yeah, it does sound with the. I don't like the guitar tone. It sounds really, really thin, but the rhythm section picks it all up so well. It almost doesn't really matter. The vocals are produced well. Maybe not delivered well.
Not delivered poorly.
No, the screaming is terrible. I mean, the one is so ridiculous, I like it, but by and large, 99% of the screaming on this album, I wish wasn't there. And in a little bit, because you immediately go to not even another album, just a re-release of this one with whatever it's called, American, what is it, Nightmare?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember. But it's just, he's so, American Death, he's so good on that shit. He figured something out between album one and everything else that they did. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, track one, Tire Down. It's, I think, immediately apparent that the production's good.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's something you catch right from the get-go, because the bass tone thing is
really great.
Whoa, one of the better bass tones. Just.
And the drums sound amazing. Like,
yes, They really, really do. Like, I do think this guy back in 2004, though, did have a little bit of a problem with kick drum coming through. Like, because same with Miss Machine, I do wish, like, the kick on both of these were just a little more, I don't know. They don't get buried by the bass tone necessarily, but I think the bass tone is what eats up most of that frequency that should be sharing with the kick, and the kick's it's losing that battle pretty hard. Not pretty hard, but
strange.
I just wish. Yeah, it really is. I don't know. Tire Down is an screamo/emo song. Like, and then that was when I realized immediately that this is really not that much different than everything else in this genre at the time, which was surprising because I had convinced myself that it was. I don't know. The songs do vary quite a bit, which is kind of nice.
They do. Yeah, they're catchy. Like there's some definite hooks in these. Like they're well composed songs. The album itself is well arranged. Like Slow Dance being kind of in the middle. You know, we've talked about a lot of albums that just kind of throw an interlude or an instrumental right there to slow things down. Yeah, they just they just drop tempo on an actual song and put it there.
Yeah, they made a capital E emo song and
they did
put it right in the middle.
There is not as much screaming on this album as I remember there being.
No, very little. Yeah. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
man, it's so bad. Again, maybe I didn't at the time. It probably didn't seem all that bad. But then there is something about knowing how good he got at it that detracts from a current listen.
Right.
Because it's like, man, you sound like you're just like being choked to death. And then you move forward just one re-release with an extra song. And it's like, now you sound like a fucking like earth devourer. It just sounds incredible. And they should have just re-recorded the whole thing.
There's still time.
Yeah, there is. And I know that. So there are some lyrics on this album that are pretty tough. Not all of them. But
he clearly had a bad experience.
Yeah, and if you look into the literary things that he's pulling inspiration from, they're not the best choices. They're not the choices I would probably make for inspiration. A dude that hates women and is very vocally out about that. I forget that guy's name now. Yeah, but like, yeah, I don't know if that's maybe the best. The second track on the album, "Lady in a Blue Dress," that's rough. Those are rough.
I didn't look up the lyrics at all.
Yeah, because on the first track it's pretty bad. Tire Down, "Lady in a Blue Dress" is. I mean, that's just. It's not even really like. Well done in an artsy way. It's just like, oh, okay, well, maybe don't say that. And then Choke on This. Those three are the tracks 1, track 2, and track 8. Yeah, he has an opinion.
Probably not all women. Probably one specific woman at the moment.
Probably so.
But just don't call people names.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's all it boils down to. Don't call people names.
Yeah. I mean, and don't worry, everyone in this era was doing the exact same thing. You got Hayley Williams from Paramore won't even sing some of her lyrics now live. Misery Business. She actually, from what I understand, wanted to cut that song completely, and people are like, no?
Yeah, you can't do that. You're allowed to adjust the lyrics if you feel like it, but you can't just take the song away.
No. And I swear to God, as if I do that like it holds any weight at all.
Right.
Anyway, but like I know for a fact I heard or read an interview with him to where like when they did like a play this in full at some point thing, and he was like, yeah, and I rewrote the lyrics to some of the songs because I really regret sounding like that, but I can't find that anywhere now. There's no way I'm making that up because there would be no reason for me to even think about that from then until now. But I know that's something I've read or heard somewhere, but finding it for this was pretty difficult.
Misogyny is not cool. Don't be mean to entire groups of people.
No.
Focus your anger.
Yeah.
If you want
Listen
to be
to Hatebreed. Hold on to your hatred. It helps you stay focused.
That's right.
Oh boy, did I need to hear that at whatever age that was.
But the songs that aren't misogynistic are...
Yeah. Buried Alive's great.
Buried Alive is great.
Track 4. All of these bands, it seems like I like them more when they're right under the 3-minute mark, and I feel like these dudes are kind of the same.
That's fair.
And that could just be my dislike of Screamo and getting tired of it more easily than I maybe would if it was a different genre. But
I was surprised at how long this album is. There's a lot of songs on it, and 43 minutes. One of the reviews was even like, I wish it just would have ended like 3 songs sooner. Like, he's like, I accidentally reach for the eject button or the replay button, like 3 songs early every time, just instinctively.
Yep.
Like, okay, this should be over.
I am so with that person because by about track, honestly, if it was 10 and we left it at 10, be in much better shape. It's there's nothing really wrong with the other 3, but I was just emoed out.
Yeah.
I lost all interest by track 13, Martini's Kiss. I didn't care at all. Irony of Dying on Your Birthday at track 11 is really only worth pointing out because the title is funny and very of the time.
It is.
It was the fashion of the time.
Yep.
Tying an onion under 3 minutes. Belt. Yep. And the drums on that song, oh my god.
The drums on every
good.
song.
He's so good. and unique. He just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got that, like, Winter Sun, Kai, Hato creativity.
Yeah. Yeah, even though I would say I haven't loved... Well, I think we've been in a little bit of a stretch, Eagles of Death Metal not included, of albums that I haven't loved, but we've been really lucky with drummers. Like, we're doing great, other than last week's Amon Amarth, when it could have been so sick and he just didn't do much. And yeah. Weird that I would like the drums on this album more than that.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like they legitimately caught my attention this morning when I was listening to this album. And I was
He's a monster.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. I think a lot of these songs sound the same, more or less. There's some bips and bobs that kind of stand out, some guitar harmonies that are kind of cool Iron Maiden-y sort of moments and whatnot. And the drummer's good the whole time, but I don't know. Yeah, once you get through Buried Alive, Rum is for Drinking, I don't know. You get it.
Yeah.
you get what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any other call-outs on the songs.
I don't, actually. They were...
Yeah.
Other than our opinions about this album, I don't have a lot to say about the album itself.
Yeah, there's not a lot to say. It's because I don't know. It's just strange how average it is.
You know what? And, reading the reviews, which I forgot to... So, like, AllMusic gave it a 2.5 out of 5. The user score is 4 out of 5. So, all people who like it like it. There was another one that got a 2.5 out of 5. There's a 6.2 out of 10. So, like, the people who were critically listening to it, definitely middle of the road.
Yep. Or slightly above average. Just ever so slightly.
A couple of quotes like, originality isn't a high priority on this album. I was like, I figured that was going to be the main criticism when I started looking at the review scores, because it was a crowded space. Direct comparisons to Saves the Day. Not original, but tight and competent. So,
yeah. Well, that's what it is, right? It's a band that is probably better than their peers, but at the end of the day still making a style of music that just cannot be very interesting.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's all. It's nothing wrong with it. They do it well. Musicianship is high. I mean, I will say that. Everyone knows what they're doing, and they're doing a good job of it. I
do have a quote here that kind of sums up our thoughts. Let's see. This one reviewer said, some unique melodies and the occasional spiritual literary reference make this offering slightly more interesting than the 637 albums that sound just like it.
Yeah. That's...
Yeah. And then they conclude with, in the grand scheme of modern music, Census Fail's Let It Enfold You is a good emo album. It's also completely unnecessary. But we have it now. And if you someday find it in...
That's incredible.
It is.
Oh my god.
And it keeps going. Like, but if let's see, if you someday find it in your possession, you'll have more to like than not. This record is the answer to the question, what if Sum 41 and Alkaline Trio had a child and sent it to an expensive boarding school?
That's amazing.
The answer's cool enough, but still nobody asked.
But we have it.
Yep.
And Dorothy, you have herpes. I don't want herpes. Well, you've got it.
That's a good deep cut.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Well,
seems like we should give our opinions now.
Let's do it. Let's get to the review.
Review! Bop it.
Well, we got a Bop It reference, so...
Fucking love that thing. You know what I hated?
Bop It's great.
Bop It 2. It got overcomplicated. I don't need to do 5 things. 3 was hard enough.
Yep. When they get, like... I think I have a Bop It somewhere.
You do. You have a mini Bop It.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Well, Bop It. The only thing on this show that's an older reference than the music we're talking about. Older?
Got it.
Did that come out? 90s? 90s, right?
I don't know. It came out at that age where, like, you didn't want to hear those instructions.
1996.
Damn.
That sounds about right. It's somehow older than I would have guessed, but yeah.
Yeah.
That seems right. All right. Well, Josh, we are talking about Let It Enfold You by Census Fail, and we're gonna snap into a
Slim
pep
Jim
here, and I was trying to think of something else other than a Slim Jim to say, but it was none of it was good. None of it was good.
Take two.
What did you think of the artwork?
I love the album artwork. I really do.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think other than, it kind of looks like the guy facing the mirror has that like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction kind of lost look on his face. But I do love the album artwork.
I agree with you. It's just it's pretty sick. Just the idea in general is cool as hell too.
Especially in 2004. They pulled it off as well.
For sure. Yeah, this was ahead. Again, they are the smart version of this type of music, but it's just, how that gets you from like a B- to a B+, not from like a D to an A, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I liked it too. What are you rating it?
I guess we have to do that, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 5. I don't see any reason not to, honestly.
I guess that's where I am on it. Like for some reason I don't want to give it a 5, but at the same time, I really just don't. I mean, I like the font. I like the.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I can't talk myself down even to a 4. There's just really nothing wrong with it.
Is that last light bulb broken on the top right? I can't quite see.
Yes.
God damn.
That's
that's what gets it a 5.
Well,
yep.
Yeah. Man, sick. Well, starting off strong.
And it really does convey kind of the whole feeling of the album.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We kind of touched on this a little bit already, but what do you think of the production then versus now?
I love the way this album sounds. I was really surprised to find that out.
Yeah.
But it sounds amazing and it holds up pretty well. But like you said, there's some times I thought the mix got like a little muddy. So
yeah,
it's definitely a strong 4.
Nice. The only reason this is going to be, again, I'm just going to do this apparently every week now. But I'm going to give it a 3 just because of how much better the very next album sounds. I mean, it's just fair. This one is good. This one sounds good. Again, I don't love the guitar tone, and I do think they could have done a better job of letting the bass, guitar, and the kick drum share space.
Right.
So that's a little bit of a knock, but it's more just going to the very next album, and I don't know who did that. Hell, maybe it's the same dude.
Could be.
But I mean, it is just, it's the verse, it's the now part specifically that's tough for me on this one.
That's fair.
For that reason.
Brian McTernan did the next one. He is the lead vocalist for hardcore punk band Battery, and the guitarist in Ashes, and is the singer in Be Well. So,
boy, this dude's got a lot going on.
It actually gets pretty watchable. I don't know. Maybe because he's an ivory hunter.
I don't know why you remember that bit so well. It's so...
I do.
It's good. Yeah, so wait, you landed on a 4 and I've got a 3.
And I'm really glad that you like the production too. I forgot when I was listening to it this morning that it was the guy who did Miss Machine.
Yeah.
But I fully expected to get on this call and have you freak out and be like, you like this production? But the more I listened to it, I was like, there's no way Brad doesn't like this production.
No, it's good. It's just a solid production. There's some choices that I don't think aged particularly well, like the guitar tone, but
yeah, and that one scream.
Oh my god. At the time, it's very, very good.
Yeah.
It's only being cut down because, well, it's been said.
Yeah. Actually, the fact that he didn't clip on that scream.
Yeah. Man, he just lets it rip.
It's does.
Great. It's just terribly wonderful.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to do with this.
Like, have you ever accidentally set something down on your toe? Like, that's the scream.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Impact at the time. I'm going to force you to go first here.
I hate that. I mean, I forget. We've had this conversation before. I'm going with a 3 because again, you know, we were taking things from everywhere. This band in particular was prevalent at the time, even if it was just like adjacent to what we had going on, not necessarily like in the mix directly, but that Buried Alive video, and I mean, they were doing...
I'm surprised you talked yourself down to a 3, honestly.
Yeah. Well, because it does to a point, but in the way that other things do, not necessarily.
That's fair.
But, I mean, honestly, it probably could be a 4, too, and I'm sure if, like, I don't know, we had, like, Comer on this or something, then be like, every single, like, melodic lead that I did on every single Shaken Nightmare song. Yeah, I landed on a 3.
Sick.
Yeah, now I am thinking about that. Anyway, well, what do you got for
I
Impact at the time?
I gotta go with the 2. Because like I said, I didn't listen to this album much, if at all, when it came out. The string quartet one actually probably influenced me more than this album itself, the source material.
It's so funny. Yeah, it's awesome.
But yeah, I was, it was in that space that I was like kind of resistant to, but also like dating somebody who was into that. So
yeah,
it found its way in, but I didn't seek out a whole lot of extra Senses Fail and like pay much attention to it other than when I had to.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Well, I mean, still pretty strong showing so far.
Yeah.
How much did you enjoy listening to it today?
I'm gonna give it a 4. I mean,
all right.
There are those lyrics in there that kind of rub me the wrong way 20 years later. But, like, within the context of the album and in which they were written and kind of probably the time that the guy was going through, we all make mistakes when we're angry or grieving. So,
yeah, this is true. It's true.
I can swallow that pill in that context, and to hear that you have a memory of him walking it back, and even if it's a real memory or not, but
it has to be.
Yeah, apart from all of that, like the music's great. The songs are well written.
Music's very good. Yeah.
The vocals are okay. So it's a good album. And
fair enough.
Tie it so closely to the music of the string quartet that it's like, I love this.
That's awesome. I had no idea. I can't wait to check that out, actually, because the music of the album is, and they know what they're doing. They write songs very well. All right. I gave it a 3 just because of how bored with it I got by the end.
Fair.
I was like, man, I gotta go listen to like fucking Napalm Death or something after this, just to like hit a hard reset on my brain. I don't know who I'm fooling with that. I definitely just listened to an episode of Omnibus. Is what really happened.
There is a new Veil of Panath album.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Huh. All right, I'll check that out. You know who Vervum. Vervum needs to bring out a second fucking album. It's been like 8 years.
I think it has been actually 8 for Veil of Panath.
Really?
Too, yeah.
Oh, nice. All right, a lot going on.
Yeah, maybe there's hope for Vervum.
Well, they talk about it a lot. Like, don't worry, we got some ideas. It's like, some ideas? Like, I know your shit you're writing is difficult, but my God. It's not, it's
not rocket surgery.
No. Never mind. Another tangent for another day. All right, so I don't know. Yeah. We've got a score of 15 from Josh and 14 from myself.
I'm surprised.
Huh. Yeah. It seems like I was way worse than you to only be 1 off. That's odd. But it is what it is. And that gives us a total of 29 out of 40 for Let It Enfold You by Senses Fail. Not bad. Not a bad showing.
Yeah.
From them. Oh, boy. What is your favorite song on the album?
My favorite song on the album is Bite to Break Skin. That one just kind of stood out to me for some reason. Probably helps that that's like where I noticed the drums, and it's got that kind of like slick little guitar intro piece.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Yeah, it is. That is a good one. Well,
I'm curious what you're going to pick.
Well, it's either Buried Alive or Rum is for Drinking. It's as much as that is chalk at its finest.
Buried Alive is so let's play doctor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's play doctor. Yeah. So Buried Alive is a very good song. I'll go with Rum is for Drinking, not for Burning at track 6.
It's too bad we can't put American Death on there.
No kidding. It's the best song maybe by this band. Period. Ever.
Can't be saved, maybe? No, American Death.
Sick or Sane's close, though. Both of those songs are good.
This is, I mean, now that we're talking about it, like, this is a pretty solid, maybe even great debut album.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny, too, because, like, a lot of these, there's not a lot of... When we do... The bands that we've had that we've done first albums, it generally isn't a lot of time between establishing themselves as a band and releasing. So it's kind of cool that they had 3 years up to this, because...
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that helps you flesh some of this, weaker things out to an extent.
And I still think of them as kind of like being at the top of the space. Like they're a more recognizable, maybe not than Alkaline Trio, but I also don't think they sound a damn thing like Alkaline Trio anymore.
No, not at all.
Or even at the time.
No, they sounded nothing like Alkaline Trio.
Okay.
Alkaline Trios, though, they're kind of their own. They almost live in their own spot, in some strange way.
Death pop.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know, every band that's heavily influenced by the Misfits,
right?
Just put under that umbrella, because they clearly are that. All right. I'm
gonna start. Well, I'm gonna work hard to start this death pop genre. I'm gonna call it Diet Coke.
Have you heard the whole thing about dirty Dr. Pepper being like taking the world by storm, where it's like Dr. Pepper with like coconut milk?
What?
Like, yeah, you like it's having a moment. Like, you can get it right now at Sonic, and you can go to the grocery store and buy creamer, buy all the big creamer brands now specifically for Dr. Pepper. These dirty Dr. Peppers. Yeah. Did I just blow your mind?
You sure did. I have not heard of this. I have not seen it. I have no physical evidence that this is a real thing. I live under a rock. Mostly.
Oh, man. I'm telling you, though. It's definitely happening. And it's weird.
I'm going to find this. I'm going to find this. It sounds like it's not even. Egg face to play us out.
Am I bigger on your screen? Am I the big version?
Yeah, you're the big version.
You should get one of this just in case we run into another situation where I can't find a good photo from a band in 2004. Oh, nice. Well, I will be adding the 2 favorite songs to our playlist, the TDTL favorite songs on Spotify. Check us out on Instagram, TDTL_podcast. That's almost so. I that's like more off-putting than. Yeah.
It's pretty uncomfortable.
Oh god. Yeah. This is how you know we're old, because like this stuff probably shouldn't be funny at this point. But you know.
Yeah. Here we are.
Cake breakfast. Yeah. I don't know. If you want to listen to this, it's not bad. It's a solid. Here's my thought. It's an album musically that was written and recorded by a band that understood their own genre well enough to shine in a sea of thousands, that was let down by an overconfident vocalist that probably needed to be knocked down a peg. And I think that happened because they got exponentially better as time went on. So give it a listen if you haven't heard it. Yeah, I got nothing.
So this is, I guess, Brad and Josh reminding you not to skip breakfast and to have your cake and eat it too. So with that, we've been 2 decades too late.
With that, he's been cake. I've been breakfast face.
2 eggs over easy.
You ever heard of a fried egg?
A fried egg?